Zombie, how you doing? My viewer. May as well get a terminal here that's actually authorized. Would I like to update? Sure, I'll update. What do you mean need merge? Shut up. Yeah, just after, I think. Hey, Ted, how you doing, buddy? Good boy. Good boy. Come to hang out. So let's go to the right place. Eloquent robot. And we'll take that over here and we'll authorize it. With the password. I know, right? Ships in the night is exactly right. All right, I'm not loving my job right now, so enjoying being able to use this as an outlet. And put this, where will we put this? Down here maybe. Oh no, actually go left. Yeah, yeah, it's not great when you don't rate what you're doing. I went from working in kind of climate change and doing some really interesting things to working for something really corporate, which I don't enjoy. So yeah, not much fun. But that's the way it goes. Right. Oh, and one of the things we need to do is automate the ad sign and get a better ad sign. Took me forever to figure out how this library works, but we should now be able to query the Twitch API and get back some channel details. Oh, invalid numeric literal. That can't be good. Oh, it's probably not JSON. Oh, yeah. Missing ID, really. I've worked in corporate and private and prefer private, but you get less benefits. Who cares? I enjoyed it. Yeah. I think I'm just not a big team guy. I like little teams. I like startups and small teams where everybody knows everybody. And I've just gone into this massive environment. So have to get out of that situation. Now, why don't you have an ID? Let's find out. Let's go to it's in aliases? No, it's in Z profile or Z profile. Pronounce things proper. Certainly should be there, but we'll export it the old-fashioned way. All right, let's try that. Okay, so it's not JSON, but we should still get some details. Aha, that would be an API response. Okay, now I think it would be easier if output wasn't JSON, and I used to know how to do that, but now we're going to look it up. I'm told that if you jump straight to a browser screen from a screen like this, it's called a flashbang. I do apologize if that's the case. Hey, it's in duck mode. Look at that. Close out some tabs here, and we'll go Rust JSON. Oh yes, CertRS. Duh. I knew that. Okay, so JSON1. 1.0.115. One of those libraries, they just increment the patch version, just like Beaks. Right, so that means I need cargo add cert JSON. Standard alloc arbitrary position, float round trip, blah, 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 blah. Don't think I care about any of that. I have a suspicion my partner just locked herself out. I'll be right back. It was a sort of a wailing sound from the front door. I figured something must be wrong. Uh, okay. Excuse me. So basic usage, Sir Jason. It's been a been a few years since I did this. Derive, serialize, deserialize, call any valid JSON, sure. So how do I deserialize a value that I've already got? Like, for example, on line 24, we've got channel, which is a channel information. So JSON from string, constructing JSON values. Deserializing. Deserialize. What? Oh, that would have been a flashbang. Did you say you thought your partner locked themselves out? Yes, yes. I think that's what happened. We have kind of a broken front door that needs to be replaced, and it doesn't have a mode where you can't use a key. You just always have to use a key. Serialize, deserialize, sure. Set JSON from string data. What about the other way around? Two string. Oh, well, maybe that's it. Oh no, two strings what they'll be calling on it now. So what functions do I have available to me? To value from string. It's not from string. What about from value? Interpret a set JSON value is an instance of type T. Don't think this is likely, but what was the type again? Channel information. Otherwise, we'll have to go look at this type. Okay. Oh man, I can't even look it up. Okay, well, I know what time it is. It's time to ask ChatGPT because it's good at this kind of shit. Summarizing Google searches. Okay, given the Rust snippet, how could, assuming the type in question, channel information, derives deserialize, how might said JSON be used to display to retrieve a JSON value from channel. Oh, serialize, not deserialize, you silly person. So JSON toString. All right, let's see if that actually is a thing or if it's making it up. I always get serialize and deserialize mixed up, which is not a good sign from a supposed software engineer. I probably need an option to expected reference. Oh, really? No errors, you say? Really? Huh. Except that, yeah, first of all, it's an option. So let's go with unwrap for now, at least. And second of all, it's backslashes. And I don't know. Oh, I know what I do. Go JQ, right? Invalid numeric literal. Oh, it's not an option. It's no, it's an error. I mean a result type. Oh, the yeah. So I have to do this, right? Okay. JQ. Nope, still no valid JSON. So we get past these annoying little eccentricities. It's still okay. Um, do I have to convert it to a string? It's still a channel unwrap is going to yield a what? Okay. So if channel doesn't have that, what type is it? Option channel information. So unwrap. And then it's an OK value. So what about toString? Nope. Okay, well, my phone died then. Oh, that's no good. You dog walking? Time for a slip of tea. Shopping. Excellent. Woman be shopping. Oh, okay. Channel information doesn't implement display. Oh, I think I know why. It's because toString pretty also returns an option, right? So this one also needs an unwrap. Let's try that. Yes. Now, what about the new lines? Will JQ take care of that? Maybe it's the pretty. Annoying. How can I print it without the surrounding? Hmm. Hey bot, uh, JSON output via println macro contains many escaped quotes. How might an unescaped output be achieved? Sure, I am using the search JSON query. Okay, yes, done. You were right there, Ted. You're having a snooze, mate. Good boy. Blah, 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 blah. Two string, but I did that. Bah. All right, let's see if I'm just smoking the crack. Let's go with it in stages. Uh, equals. Hey, now we're talking. That was right. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. So now we've got basic channel information and we've got a mechanism for displaying it. Love it. Love it a lot. Okay. Now then, we actually need a Git repo. Oh, we've got a Git repo. We just don't have a GitHub repo, but that's all right. So let's go with that, that, and that. Scaffold. And I guess we may as well. Don't need a single sign-in for my work. Choose an owner, me, and eloquent robot. Private. I found out that I was doing all my inventory coding correctly. I thought I would have issues with saving loading items that are scriptable objects, but they're all good. Oh, nice. Um, Scriptable Unity objects, right? And then we need git remote add origin github.com. Yeah, Unity. Yeah, I don't fully understand most of these other engines. I'm conscious of the fact that there's an object that you can manipulate on screen, but which you can also write a script for. But that's about as far as my understanding goes. Eloquent robot. They're created read-only, so best to be used for creating objects and not storing data. Gotcha. Gotcha. Right. So now we need to figure out how to get chat. What is the endpoint we need for chat? And that I think is going to be, I don't know if it's the events hub stuff or if I can just use not Twitch L2, but Twitch API. And let's look for chat. Event sub channel chat. Yeah, chat events. Gotcha. So that means I need to know how event sub works. So we need to set up for, well, there's also Helix endpoints regarding chat. We might as well investigate that. Create feature Helix. Get a list of custom chat badges. Channel emotes, chat settings, chatters. That seems reasonable. Let's try that. What are those? Broadcaster ID and moderator ID. Huh. The moderator has to be the token owner. There's this thing that I need to understand. I got really wrapped around the axle last night because I was trying to figure out why I couldn't connect, and it was because I was using an application token instead of a user token. So it's on my account, but it doesn't have all the rights that my user token would have. I think this might be one of them. The ID of the broadcaster, the ID of the moderator that's requesting it. Yeah, must be associated with the user access token. And I do have a moderator user set up, but I'm not gonna go that route right now. I wonder if you have to have the same permissions for event sub. Because my goal for the evening is to be able to just get a list of chat messages ticking over. If I can understand how this all works. Okay. Any user sends a message to a specific chat room. All right, I happen to know that there's an example for event sub, so why don't we find out what that is? Hopefully I don't need a user token. Channel information, get channel status, event sub. I wonder what the difference between event sub and event sub WebSocket is. That might be good to know. Event sub versus event sub WebSocket. Event sub WebSocket's targeted at programs which have to subscribe to topics for just a single broadcaster. Yeah, don't know. Let's look at the example. This is just for event sub main. Use clap parser. Try pass from app version. Don't care about that. Run await with context when running application. Create the client. Twitch RS event sub. Get the access token. Pass it to the client. Look up the ad. Sign. Excuse me. Okay, so it looks like I can use the same token that I already created. Client ID, client secret, and a vec. So I've already done the token. Yeah. Okay. UX line with client, default client name. Oh, okay. So that's all happening in run. What are we doing in main? Install utils. What is install utils? Oh, yeah, I don't think I care about any of that. Okay. Tracing and run. No more ads. Definitely have to get that automated. Huge pain in the ass. Now, let's follow a similar structure. Do other important stuff, then run. Options. I'm not going to do that right now. Await with context when running application. Cannot find function run for a very good reason. IO result. I don't want to use an IO result. I want to use a normal result or even a box dine. Error, error. How about send, sync, and static though? But let's just see if that's what I need to do. This is all but new since the last time I managed Tokyo code. Okay. So they're creating the client in there. And we've got the token here, so let's drag that down. and we'll remove all of this stuff. Except that client's going to change. So we're doing something much more like this. Helix client, work client, request client, Twitch RS events. So we shouldn't need this client. And then we're getting the token. We do need the client ID and the client secret. We don't need the channel. We don't need that or that. We do need that. Now, I wonder if wrap error width comes from that IR thing. So I think we're actually just going to get rid of that. And default client with name. Okay. Don't think request client is the same here. We can either use what they're doing verbatim by installing some new libraries, but I don't really want to. And keep things really simple if possible. It seems to me that it's very similar to what we were doing before. What were we doing before? Helix client default. I see. So there's probably no reason why I can't keep doing that. Let's find out if it's a problem or not. Yeah, we don't need that. Go away. Now we're talking. All right. So we've got the token. Get the user we want to listen to. Broadcaster login. Now, what is broadcaster login? They are using broadcaster login. Twitch API types username. All right. Let basic equals Twitch API types username is probably a from. And there is. And then we'll go Daisy. Yeah. And we'll do error management later when we're more sure of what the hell's going on. Okay, so that's broadcaster. Cool. Config, which is shared between all requests. Broadcaster URL, broadcaster and website URL. All right. What is ARC? Sync ARC. Thread safe reference pointing counter. Reference counting pointer. Atomically. Oh, this is instead of Tokyo, right? Yeah. Okay, no. Um, I assume config comes out of REST API, uh, Twitch API. Nope. So where does that come from? Or is it just his type? They definitely made it a lot easier for Unity. Yeah. A lot of this is from scratch. I don't deny it, but therein lies the challenge. I like rolling things from the start. That way I know what's going on. Okay, so yeah, it's something he's defined himself. I'm not concerned about that just yet. Twitch is live. So that comes out of, oh, this is their own mod. Okay. It's a lot of detail here we don't need yet. Make the token shareable. Don't care. Watch channel for the live status. Send to every website WebSocket client. Retain a cache to check if we've already seen the request from Twitch. All right. Again, not yet. Router, where is router defined? Axon. All libraries I may not need. This is a little more complicated than I was hoping for a first example. Okay, so it's defining basically routes for Twitch to hit. So let's look up Rust, Axon, ergonomic and modular web framework. Right, so it's essentially defining a website or a web server rather. All right. I mean, I get why they're doing that. I imagine you'd have to use something similar no matter what handlers you were writing. Okay. Yeah. I'll buy it. I'll buy it. That seems sensible to me. Axon. form HTTP, JSON, match path, original UI, Tokyo, blah, blah, blah. All right. So when they actually start implementing it, we've got app is router new. Don't want to worry about config just yet. In fact, probably never. And then we're defining routes. And probably the main one we need is this. Yeah, function post, which probably comes out of Axum as well. Axum routing post, yep. And this doesn't exist. So Twitch event sub. Let's see what the handler looks like. There we go. So I suspect this is where most of the work is going to get done. Yep. Call it event sub handler. All right. Now, many problem types. Okay. Now then, extension. This is really lengthy for an example. Should really contribute like a much more trimmed down one. This is like somebody's full-on application. Extension is from Axum. So let's go with use Axum extraction, I think it was. Did I spell that wrong? Extract, not extraction. Not using standard error, you say. It's stream offline v1 payload. Bloody hell. Need to really tame this into something much simpler. Live status. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of types. You expect anything to be easy? You fool. Fool. That's right. But then no, there's ways to present examples that are easier than this. I know I've written them. I understand why they've tried to be thorough, but I think, yeah, there's room for a middle ground. So live status is quite tempting to take the entire example, install it, and play with it, but I want to understand it. So live status comes from what? It comes from an enum. Okay. What about sender? Watch sender. Blimey. It's a lot to wade through before you get. What I don't like is when there's too long between runs, so that you have to really figure it out. It's too much room for things to go wrong. Where is that from? I think that's part of Arc, which is quite annoying, because I don't want to use it if I don't have to. If I don't use it, what types does it think I'm receiving? Actually, just kill all this for a sec. It's way too long. What types am I getting here? All right, well, that's not helpful. So let's go to our Axon documentation. And see if we can figure it out. Method routing post. Okay, what are we getting? See get for an example. Okay, yeah, I want the handler, not the handlers are uh, that's not the simplest thing in the world to read. Yeah, async functions take no more than 16 arguments, damn. Return something that implements into response. Rust gives poor error messages if you try to use a function that doesn't quite match what's required by handlers that aren't functions. Okay. I didn't know about move. That's interesting. So anything that's captured by reference or mutable reference becomes something captured by value. In order to do this thing, you need to take a 3-year course in ancient languages. Yes, yes, you do. I need a simpler example, because what they're trying to do here is just be thorough and complete. And I don't actually want thorough and complete. I want simple and comprehensible. because this is like all the bells and whistles. I just want a rough idea of what all these types are. So we're getting request body. That is simple. I understand that. Then we've got the sender, some options, config, and a cache. So all of these, I think, are being provided by, okay, all of these are being provided by this person's program. Whereas what we actually want is the request. So he's value adding all of the stuff into the handler and controlling it with arc so that it there's a mutex for everything. And then returning anything that implements an into response. Okay, so what if we tamp that down and just do this? Pub async function event sub handler. Taking one of those and returning one of those. That seems a lot more manageable. And then note that, oh, more ads floating through. Time for another giant slurp of tea. Check on the dog. Dog fast asleep, as he should be. Yeah, simplicity is the answer here. To understand what's going on. Ah, yes, tea, essential tea. Dexter's dead now after the walk. No magic pies today. Now, into response should come out of Axon, hopefully. Right. It's not an Axon. Where is it? Response. As you'd expect. And HTTP, which is standard, right? Oh no, Axon HTTP, fair enough. Should really do something like that. What's unused? Oh yeah, don't need that anymore. What do you mean it's unused? I do use it. Oh, right, I just refer to it directly. Do that. No magic pies today. Fair enough. And that. All right. So what do we do after we've defined the handler on 26? How do we actually make it work? All right, that's in the other file. So in run, we get the token, we get the broadcaster. Define app with its routes, nest service static, layer, a whole bunch of other stuff that I don't understand yet, and then spawn the server. To run this example, you need to be a server with a URL and have HTTPS via TLS. You're either behind a reverse proxy or you set this example up to handle that. Okay. See Event Sub WebSocket for an example which doesn't require a server. Damn it, you could have said that at the top of the file. Jeez. Just out of interest, how different is Event Sub WebSocket? Ensure you've got the get submodules. Yes. No wonder they were defining routes. Oh, this is way better. Oh, well, it's still useful. I might end up having to write a server for this anyway. Ah, so annoying. Okay, so we won't use Axum. Oh, it's still very interesting. Now I know how to use Axum. Okay, so down to with client, blah, blah, blah. Oh, it's a user token. Hopefully, I don't have to use a user token. Get the user ID of the channel we want to listen to. So can I not use a WebSocket client with an application token? Oh, brutal. Brutal. I don't want to use a user token. All right. Let's see if the example of event sub could be used with an application token without a server. We're down the rabbit hole now. We may as well see how far it goes. What does it actually do once it gets into that route? Event sub, event sub. Here we go. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. If response content length, blah, blah. Listen here, Magic Man. Stop making it sound easy. It's not easy. It is not easy. But I was watching Clonk today do emulate a Game Boy in Haskell. So if you can do that, maybe I can follow a well-published API documentation. Ah, all right, let's look at where the WebSocket client must have a user token, and if they absolutely must have, then I'll get one. Oh, that's their own module. Maybe I should stop fighting it. Or maybe I should run the server locally, but then it would have to be behind TLS, which I have not set up. Uh, I would love to write an emulator, Mega Drive Genesis. Yeah. I don't know. I think part of me is weirded out by the fact that I never played them. Like we had a Amiga 500, but that was a long time ago. And it wasn't an emulator, it was a personal computer. I mean, it wasn't a game console. I think my brother had like an Atari game console at one point in the distant past, back in the pre-internet days. Certainly amazing what you can get away with just from the sheer power of an ordinary CPU these days. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to bite the bullet and get a user token. Um, can Twitch application use WebSocket or require user token? 2017. Applications authenticate for login, validate with every request. Kraken is old, that doesn't exist anymore. So let's go last year. Event sub WebSocket. This is Python, but never mind. Targeted at programs which have to subscribe to topics for a single broadcaster. Otherwise, look at event sub webhook. Runs on its own thread, blah, blah, blah. App ID, app secret. Well, that's what I've got. All right. All right. I can do this. I can do this. Let's look at the WebSocket version. We've got blah, 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 blah. Don't care about that. It's creating a client. It's using, that's just with name stuff. It's trying to make debugging easier. So it's a default Helix client. Get the access token from the CLI.env or an auth service. But that's a user token. You can just get an OAuth token using curl. I've done that. I did that last night. Get the user ID of the channel we want to listen to. Otherwise, use the user ID from the token. So is it saying that only the user that's responsible for the channel can open a WebSocket client? And client is a Helix client, which we are then wrapping in a WebSocket client, which is defined here with a Helix client, a user token. So we definitely couldn't take that approach with an application token. Tokyo spawned, WebSocket client run, await. Okay, so again, we're faced with an example that's more complex than it needs to be. But we can overcome, we just have to do it a bit at a time. Wait, what? Run? No, that's a different run. And I want this one. Connect using Tokyo Tungstenite WebSocket stream. And somebody's written this from scratch really carefully. It's not that I don't appreciate all the effort. I just want something very simple to start with. Loop over the stream. Which is probably going to be quite busy, I would think, coming from Twitch. It's going to have everything in it. Welcome payload, reconnect payload, handle events, ban event, revocation event, presumably chat event. Request a new token if you're using an OAuth service. Either the CLI.env or an OAuth service. You could just use curl, I suppose. Well, either I need to take this entire thing and pare it down so that I can work with it, or I need to see what I can do without and just work through it step by step. So I'm inclined to do the former. which is a shame because I kind of want to do it from scratch. Hmm. How much of it I can translate out? I don't think I'm going to be able to skip over this business of using the user token as opposed to an application token. Just take one more look at what it does to make the connection. Self connect, which is this WebSocket stream, maybe TLS stream, Tokyo Net TCP stream. WebSocket config, we could copy that straight. All right, why don't we start with this? And just see how far we get. But I don't think we're going to be able to get away without getting the user token. Now, Tokyo Tungstenite, is that part of Tokyo or is it an additional crate? Looks like it's an additional crate. So what is Tokyo Tungstenite? Because I don't remember that being around last time I looked at Tokyo. Based on Tungstenite RS, WebSocket library and provides Tokyo bindings and wrappers for it. So you can use it with non-blocking asynchronous TCP streams from and couple it together with other crates from the Tokyo stack. All right, I can deal with that. Cargo add Tokyo underscore dash. And what features is he using, or they? Examples of its WebSocket, Tokyo Tungstenite, native TLS, which is not enabled, so good job I checked. Version. Clonk. How you doing? Oh, that's really nice of you, mate. You didn't have to do that. I appreciate it. Hey, I was like about half an hour. I was just saying that if earlier today I was watching you write a emulator in Haskell. If you can do that, I can figure this out. It's a well-published API. It's not as big a challenge. It's really nice of you to come by. I really appreciate it. I'm in the weeds, but it's okay. The weeds are a good place to be. Don't care about that. You believe? Thank you. I need the belief. I require belief. It powers me. Okay, tungstenite comes from Tokyo Tungstenite. See, I told you, Clonk is not an illusion. He exists. Where is it? It's not there. It's in here. Yeah, they hacked your system and you can hear you talking about them. Exactly. I wouldn't put it past them. I do not believe that I'm going to rewrite the Matrix. I would, however, like to rewrite history so that the second two movies never happened. Quonk's stream is epic. I have mad designs on doing similar things with text and interaction, but certainly not anything approaching that scale. I don't plan to draw myself, put it that way. Promise me roller coasters. Okay, what else are we missing? Expected value found module self. Sure, because this is not a struct anymore. Connect URL is what? That is the question that I have. Also, it's quite late here. I'll lurk as I get ready for bed. Best of luck with the stream. I'll try to catch more in the future. Hey, it's really nice of you to stop by and thank you for the sub. That's really generous of you. Especially given the level of content that is currently on display. Um, okay, connect URL. Where are we finding that? That is from here. But how is it populated? That is what we wonders. Oh, there's more of those ads, and we shall manually enable the sign because it's a very important sign, and it took a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to create. Well, 5 minutes in a sprite, but you know. Where? No, don't save a bookmark. Don't be ridiculous. Web socket. Oh, stop trying to take over my keys. Damn you, GitHub. WebSocket client, yeah. Session ID none, blah, 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 connect URL. Twitch API, Twitch event sub. Okay, cool. So they have constant. I will take that to the bank. Uh, this is ugly. It's very ugly, but not everything was born pretty. Some things you just have to conduct some surgery on. Not sure about this config business. No context. Don't want context. Interesting. Oh, right, the config from there. Fair enough. Yeah, that actually works, believe it or not. Okay, so we can make a connection, but can we do anything useful with it if we only have an application token and not a user token? That is my question to you. Stop saving bookmarks. God damn it. I hit Control down because Control D because Vimium ought to be doing that for me. It is not. I must have rebound the key. Okay, so we're connected in theory. In theory, where is, here we go, connect. Oh, wait. When establishing connection, blah, blah, blah. Loop over the stream, processing messages as they come in. I think this too we can potentially accomplish. Yeah. Do you like how I'm attempting to do complicated things in Rust, but I can't control my browser? Okay, so that can go in there, and we'll get rid of that for now. Possibly with an OK, like so. All right, unreachable code. I agree. You're correct. It is unreachable. So let's get rid of that entirely. I was experimenting with Copilot because I'd kind of resisted for a long time. And then I tried both Copilot and Sourcegraph Cody at the same time, just to see what it was like and what the experience was like and what autocomplete it offered and whether it could help me learn a language and that kind of thing. And 2 days ago, our work Copilot got stripped away from every user in the entire building. Something to do with GitHub changing its billing module practices or getting transferred to Microsoft or something like that. And I just yanked it out of my NeoVim config. And I don't really miss it. It was suggesting some useful things and it did save me a little time, but it also tried to write my comments for me, which is just rude. I mean, you'd be sitting there writing a perfectly normal comment and it would be suggesting what you would like to say in your comment, which is English and not code. And it's just rude. It's just rude. I don't approve. I don't want my comments written for me. So yeah, Copilot is no more. For now, at least, LLMs on this channel are restricted to to questions about how to write Rust syntax from ChatGPT. And even then, half the time they're wrong. All right, Tokyo Select. Some message futures stream next mute S. Cannot find value S. Sure. That's because S is the result of connect. That means that S is actually socket. Cradle module futures is actually, I'm forever control P to run Unity, but it tries to print the web page or not Unity app. I'm still active on. Yeah. Yep. I have the Vimium thing, so I can jump to links using the navigation. So keyboards and so on, rather than mouse. But GitHub has a lot of additional key codes that it binds which interact with it all, and it gets really annoying. What am I looking for? Futures. Futures comes from surely Tokyo, no? Where does futures come from? Futures? Adobe Futures. Futures Stream X. Huh. Where's that from? No definitions. Helpful. Stream X. This is, oh, futures is a crate. Okay. I'm not quite sure why I would want it, but to avoid getting bogged down, let's do it that way. And I will go back to it. Tracing, I don't care. It's got all sorts of area tracing stuff happening here. Then we've got tracing again. I approve as a As a platform professional, I approve of this tracing and observability, but not when I'm trying to learn this. Um, so why? Oh, I see. We're reestablishing the connection if it fails. All right, so that's why socket on line 5 lines above is mutable, so that it can be rewritten. Hey, thanks for the follow, Dragon Spirit Games. Um, I don't have a fancy thing that flashes on the screen when someone does that, but yet. But I saw it out of the corner of my eye. I saw it up on the second monitor, and I really appreciate it. Why you would want to see more of this, I'm not sure, but you know, maybe maybe you like punishing yourself. Uh, self connect instrument. No, it's not self. Now it's just so we do actually need a function for that. Um, I stripped it out of function brutally. We do actually need one. Because we are rewriting shit that was a function. So pub async function connect. I have no idea what it should return. I really hate when you have to write so much code to get to a working state. But of course, I always ask myself the same question when I get a new follower, but decided to just be grateful about it instead. I feel like there's a subtle message in there. Good morning, or good evening in this case, because it is 2037. Yeah. I always feel like there's too long a gap between runs is always a fragile feeling time for me because I just there's too much going on, too many places that could be wrong. I like to have small cycles, but here we are down the rabbit hole. It returns a result and one of those IR errors which I'm not using. So let's go something like standard error, or actually just error, and see how we go. 10:37, yeah. Good day indeed. Good morrow to you. All right, so we've got config 30 down. So this, I feel like this is going to be what we need in here. I'm quite certain that we can make it more efficient than that, but and then okay, socket. Cannot be known at compile time. Couldn't convert the error to standard error because it implicitly performs a conversion on the error value using the from trait. Right, so what did they do? Connect, connect, connect. Here we go. Connect. Oh wait, context can't connect. I took context out because I think that's from IR. Am I wrong? Did I declare the... Oh, here we go. That's wrong. Should be box. I assume. I don't know why send, sync, and static need to be declared in this instance. I think it's something to do with Tokyo, but it's been so long since I've used Tokyo. So let's keep it basic until we need for it not to be basic. Has it been a good passage of time in which the sun, well, in this particular case, the sun kind of hid for a little while, but then it came out again and disaster was averted. Did anybody actually see the eclipse? Right, so we need to actually call connect. So it'll be something like let new s equals connect. Do I need to do anything else about that? It doesn't take any arguments. Probably should, but it doesn't. And then in this case, we would just do that. Not instrument. I appreciate the observability. I just don't want it now. Yeah, we'll figure that out in a minute. Match message. Cannot find value socket. That's because, why would we call it S anyway? Okay, how are we doing? We got so many errors. Rust errors do like to be scary and red. Maybe I should redefine the error color. Cannot be unpinned, you say? This is a new one on me. Oh, I think this is why I needed send, sync, and static. All right, let's try it. Error, send, sync, static. Whoa, that's a big error. Why is this person not struggling with such errors? I know it's view only. I'm trying to scroll down. You giant knob. How have they defined WebSocket Client Connect? They've used that. So I need some more context on this error because I don't understand it. Source main 19.3 cannot be unpinned. Default trait. The full trait has been written to a debug log. Consider using the pin marker. Consider using box pin if you need to access the pin value outside of the current scope. Interesting. I would like some more information. Rust cannot be unpinned. That's 3 years ago, but okay. Sure. Good old Stack Overflow. You must guarantee that self is not moved during the process. Yeah, still don't get it. Why can't an async block or a function implement unpin? Futures cannot be unpinned. When you're making dyn future, you need to use box pin future or pin future macro. Ooh. I think what it's saying, and I could easily be wrong, is that this needs to be pinned. Why would it have a self parameter? Where does pin come from? Standard. Couldn't convert the error to standard pin, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so no, not as simple as that. Where is the self parameter? What am I missing? Oh, okay. Let's just skip that for a sec. To do handle message processing. But we still have this issue of, well, first of all, incompatible types. Yeah, wow. But I need to understand it. If I don't understand it, I can't work with it. It's not just some foolish mistake that I'm making. Can it be unpinned? So it's referring to main 19.3, which is this. And the dogs are barking. Okay. This required, because it appears within the type, future output result WebSocket stream, maybe TLS stream, TCP stream. Oh, holy shit. How do I simplify this so I can understand it? Because that is somewhat daunting. I wonder if I can get the old LLM to break down some of the problem for me so that I can see the component parts. Let's give it some context. LLM, I have a question for you. Given this loop, help me understand why the error cannot be unpinned. So async function, yeah. Is generated. In asynchronous Rust, pin and unpin concepts that deal with the safety of moving types that have been used by asynchronous operations. Make source, how you doing? That means it must be 10 to 9, maybe 10 to 8 in the morning in the UK. Awaits on multiple futures and completes when any one of them does. Futures, streamx, next, mute sockets. Part of the selection is likely the source of the issue. This borrow socket is mutable to pull the next item from the stream. Sure. I'm attempting to reassign socket, sure. Requires moving socket, but socket is involved in an async operation. It's likely pinned. Oh, okay. 9:50. Okay, it was the other way around. Oh, I've so lost track. It's getting dark really early over here. Um, the nature of async blocks and closures in Rust. Async blocks and closures result in types that are unpinned by default, unless they're explicitly made unpin or contain only unpin, not unpin. This is because the future generated by an async block can be self-referential. Its state includes references to variables within the block which must not move while the future is pending. To solve, you can consider the following approaches. Ensure socket is unpin or properly handled if not. If socket's type is inherently unpin, ensure it's correctly identified as such. If it's not unpin, use utilities like pin, mute, t to pin it and work with pinned references instead of moving it. So I think this is probably why this sample code is using so much arc, which I have not delved into yet. This little puppy here. Does it use it in this example as well? How did they get away with doing it and I can't? How dare they? What magics did they know? In a way, I don't really care about picking up the connection reset while I'm still figuring this all out. I mean, we could just skip over what does happen if you don't rewrite. We make this non-mutable and then just like exit on error, essentially. Panic. Connection reset. Oh, sorry about the ads, folks. I will put up the manual and not automated ad sign. Okay, so now we've still got the unpin error. We're calling next on the socket. Giza. That's my accent. Use boxed to box and pin the future. Heap allocate them and make them unpin. This can allow you to work around issues with futures that cannot be moved, or reconsider the structure of your code. How would I know if socket is unpin? Socket is a Tokyo Tungstenite Connect async with config. In point of fact, it's a WebSocket stream, maybe TLS stream, TCP stream. Oh boy. Nobody said this was going to be easy, so let's just work through it. What does Tokyo Select macro do? Waits on multiple concurrent branches, returning when the first branch completes, canceling the remaining branches. Huh, cool. Select macro must be used inside of async functions, which it is, accepts one or more branches with the following pattern. Pattern equals async expression, if precondition, handler. Additionally, the select macro may include a single optional else branch, which evaluates if none of the other branches match their patterns. aggregates all async expressions and runs them concurrently on the current task. Oh, okay, cool. Wow, is that really how it wants to format it? Okay. All right. So now we've still got this issue, even though we're no longer overriding socket and it's not mutable anymore. So how would I find out about pin versus unpin? Future output, standard result, Tokyo tungsten WebSocket stream. Need to implement futures stream. So what about the way they used it means that it's okay, and the way I use it is not? So within an async function, returns a result that, but then not using box_dyn. Maybe that's the problem that I'm experiencing. What are they using out of main? What's their return type? An IRA report, which is yet another plugin library that I was hoping not to use. This is an IRA result. They also do an async move Tokyo spawn, and I'm not. So this stuff is different. Hmm. Tricky. So they're doing the equivalent of client run, and client run calls connect. So they're sort of doing like let client equals Tokyo spawn async move connect await. It's not quite the same thing because there's this loop to consider. But just following that, that is a valid piece of code. But now we no longer have socket, and then we get that error back. And this other thing, try join. So no method name take output or struct standard pin. This pin business, Tokyo just seems to make everything more complicated. Oh boy. What's my way around it? How do I make it simpler so that it stays in my brain? How do I reduce the complexity? maybe using Boxstein error is causing more problems than it should. I need to understand what error is. I never heard of this library before I saw it here. Error handling type for easy idiomatic error handling and reporting. It's a fork of anyhow with support for customized error reports. Hmm. I want to understand more about cannot be unpinned. Ah, that was the one we were reading before. Why do I need to pin a future before I can await a reference to it? Tokyo pin future. Why is it necessary to pin? Await generates code that invokes future poll. The first parameter has type pin, mute self. The main characteristic of pin is that it represents a pointer to a value that is guaranteed to never move after the pin is created, unless the pointee implements unpin, which means it doesn't care if it's moved. Why is it not necessary to pin a future in order to await it by value? Why does this work? Future await consumes future. There's no opportunity for us to move future after future await. So there's no way we could violate pin's rules on future. If we could await a reference, then we would be able to move the original value after the await. That would be disastrous if you self-referential. Oh, okay. So it's a safety thing, and I get that. I get that. But how do I apply it to more complex code? What's the cheat code? Or what's the brain cheat code that lets me understand it better? Again, I feel like the example I'm trying to follow is too complex, at least for a very little brain. I don't feel that avoiding the mutable socket in this is actually helping. Um, can't convert from the WebSocket stream with the error. It got the WebSocket stream. Oh, okay. Hmm. This is quite brutal. Cannot be unpinned because future stream is not satisfied. I think this is because of the way I'm handling errors. Does it go away if I convert to their approach, which is essentially to use IRE and outsource the problem? Because this Boxstein error is how I always used to handle functions that could return an error in Rust. So that my result type was result or box-down error. This is obviously not what people are doing anymore. So instead they're using an IR report, which I assume just wraps a lot of this stuff or it abstracts it. Stop adding bookmarks. Or you could just return an IR result. Just out of curiosity, if I do that, does this issue go away? Which might help give me a clue. So, for example, where's connect? This one returns an IR error. I assume I can't just return a standard error. That would be way too easy. Implicitly performs a conversion on the error value using the from trait. Dyn standard error. And I assume that's why we needed the box. I love standard ops yeet. That's awesome. Let's try box, dyn error, just to gradually ramp up the complexity. Then we get those errors going away, but Tokyo doesn't like it. It needs sync and send, sync and static. Wait, no, it might not because you haven't called it. I haven't called it. This one is more complex, and this is where we start the whole train. Let's just rip all this shit out and try to understand the errors it creates. Can't be known at compile time, that's why we add dyn. Yeah, so that's the bare minimum. But I'm gathering that for use with Tokyo, you need to get way more specific about what the traits it implements. Wait, what? What did I do? Oh, this is some pretty serious braining that has to happen here. So how does IR handle all of this? Let's just follow their reasoning through. Connect returns an IR error. Which is not something you want to say 10 times fast. Their basic run function returns a result IR error. And the calling code which is here, returns an IR result. And what is their main return? A result, a report. Okay. How much does this make things simpler? So the run function that I've got is returning an IR error, but their run function is returning an IR result, which might be better. All right. All right. Whole different thing. Okay. I assume we've still got the same problems with pinning, and we do. Hmm. Async and Rust, a painful experience. It's not pain so much as I just need to get to a point where I understand it. I understand that you shouldn't be able to move values that could until you know until the future returns, in case they're self-referential. I get that part. But when it leads to more complicated code, how can I trim this section down so that it's less complicated? If I can break it down, then I've got a better chance of understanding it. Multiple concurrent branches. But there's only one. What would happen if we took this out of the equation? Okay, where does that leave us? Still doesn't satisfy futures string. And we still can't unpin. Consider using the pin macro. I wonder if that's why they use this ASIC move. I was looking at the definition. Oh yeah, here we go. I was looking at the definition of this before. Converts any variables captured by reference or mutable reference to variables captured by value. What's the time? 21:16. All right. Oh, I've been staring at this function for a while. So if it gets the error, it replaces the socket with a new one and tries to reestablish the connection. And then it goes back to looping over the message. And the message is a future stream next. Using Tokyo select, which just looks for branches and waits to see which one yields, right? So let's just undo through here. All right. $35.2. Source main 19.3, 35.2. Full trade has been written to blah. Futures stream is not satisfied. All right, let's go down that route. Given the same block of code, consider why futures stream might not be satisfied. Manual add sign time. The future stream trait provides a way to receive a sequence of values asynchronously, and types that implement this trait can be used with future streamx next, which is what we're doing. The most straightforward reason is that socket might not actually be a type that implements the future stream trait. This could be due to an incorrect type being used or an expectation that a type should be a stream when it's not designed to be one. All right, that's fair. So look at the way that we define socket. During the connect function, it returns a result with a Tokyo Tungstenite WebSocket stream Connect async with config. And I think we decided that socket was a WebSocket stream. What else have you got to say for yourself? Missing trait imports. Oh no, seriously? To use FutureStream next, you need to have both FutureStream and FutureStreamX traits in scope. I guarantee you that's what it is, and I'm gonna kick myself if it is. Ugh. StreamX. It might just be that the feature's not enabled. Futures. No? Both FutureStream and FutureStreamX traits in scope. But I refer to it by name. Stream support in Tokyo. Back to Kago. Macros, RT multi-thread. What have I got here? Tokyo. Full. Okay, so everything. What about tungstenite? Native TLS. Oh, there's gotta be a simple reason for this. Create versions, wrapper types. Check the type. Ensure proper imports. Review feature flags, verify crate versions. Ugh. Feels like this should not be this hard, but we will figure it out. Helix client. Event sub main. Use futures streamx. But that's event sub, not event sub WebSocket. Okay. Frustrating. This is the key error, right? That's why it's failing. Let's look at it formatted a little differently. Oh, we don't want JQ in there. No, that timed out so quickly. Ah, here we go. So yeah, let's turn JQ off and get some colors back. Oh, no color. All right. Damn. Let's go over here. Let's run that one more time. Okay. Expected future found WebSocket maybe TLS stream. Is connect not async? It is, right? Where is my previous prompt? There are a lot of errors. Here we go. Okay. The trait futures stream is not satisfied. It's not implemented for this. Trait bound future is not satisfied. You're attempting to await on something that does not implement a future, or possibly in my case, a stream. Yeah, it's doing this as well. This must be a common pattern. Some data structure doesn't meet trait bounds. Manually check and get some more information. A lot of the time it's because a 0.3 future does not return a result TE. The await macro only works with futures 0.3. This is 5 years ago. Let's go with last year. I think probably what's happening is that I need to take a deeper dive into Rust futures and Tokyo in general, because I feel like it didn't used to be this complicated. So maybe I have gotten well and truly out of date with how we do this now. The last time I used Tokyo was for a relatively simple terminal program. Huh. But I definitely feel like I just need a little less complexity so I can see what's going on. Also, this return type definitely seems to be wrong. So if we look at connect, it's definitely pub async. Just out of curiosity, can I do this? Apparently so. But it doesn't help me. Future stream does not get satisfied by the result. Does that mean that I have to unpack the result before I can get to the stream? Maybe it's all down to the return type of the function. Because connect returns the result, error. So this could yield an error, or this gives us the OK. Then I get the socket from connect. Oh, wait. And then we loop, grabbing streamx next each time. If it's a tungstenite error, we got reset, get a new socket, and continue. For every other case, yield the message or an error. That gives us this. No, sorry, we're still inside here. So we do message processing, then we get message. And this eventually returns it because there's no semicolon. Okay. Well, that's brutal. And I need to take it line by line back to the beginning until I figure it out. Am I going to do that tonight is the question. Why have I got Slack running? Do not need. I really need to understand what about the calling context that they're using means that they don't need to pin or they already are pinning. Is it because they create the WebSocket client in the context of they create it, but when they actually run it, they do it in the context of Tokyo Spawn. So let's look up Tokyo Spawn. To process connections concurrently, a new task is spawned for each inbound connection. The connection is processed on this task. The except loop becomes Tokyo spawn, async move, process socket await. Tokyo task is an async green thread. Okay, this is an important piece of the puzzle. Tokyo spawn, async, do some async work, return value. All right, so here, WebSocket client run await. All right, so let's split this out. Call it pub async function listener, and that will return an IR. An IR a result IR error. And once we've ruled out the possibility of that being the issue, we could just remove the IR dependency if possible. So given that, I can put all of this no, I'll keep I don't know how much of that I actually need. I think we'll move this loop and this here. Still can't be unpinned, but that's okay. And then we'll go client Tokyo spawn move. Listener awaits. And then the only other thing that they do that I didn't recognize was still got my ad sign up. Sorry about that. So pro. So pro. See, this is why I need automation. Can't possibly be trusted to do things like that myself. And then Tokyo try join flatten website client. I'm not quite sure why, so I want to understand that as well. So here, and then okay. Take output. Interesting. I want to understand try join and flatten in this context. Flatten comes from where? Oh, there. All right, we'll import that straight, but I want to go through this line by line. Yeah. Nope. Can I just return an error? Nope, I need Bockstein. And then we go down that rabbit hole again. Oh God. Okay, Bockstein error. Oh, okay, back that up, back that up, back that up. Wrap error with just doesn't, that comes out of another library that they're using. Yeah, figure that out in a sec. What is Tokyo trijoin? Waits on multiple concurrent branches, returning them when all branches complete with OK or on the first error. Oh, okay. Sweet. Must be used inside of async functions. And how do we resolve this? Why would you ever get an OK error? This I don't recognize. Must be something to do with what comes back from await. Hasn't it completed successfully, but it returned an error? Oh, okay. Call into on this expression due to the type of argument passed. I'm going to do a from. Really? Surely not. No. Can I do this? Or do I need to really go and look up what an IR report is? It looks like I do. Private fields, downcast, downcast mute, rep error. Oh, that does come from IR. Create a new error from an error message to wrap the existing error. Okay. Could I do this? Nope. Actually need that sign back. Oh, so many new things tonight. So why couldn't I use rep error? If the argument implements standard error, prefer report new. What about this? Expected a result, I report, and I found, oh, okay. So you're saying, that. Okay. All right, I can deal with that. But we've still got the pinning error. So we haven't gotten rid of that, but at least we've added the spawn, which I think makes sense. Oh. So it's still the pinning problem. And the question as to why we suffer from it, but they didn't. Wait a minute, connect, isn't that async? Shouldn't that be awaited? Surely. Wrong file. We should be in WebSocket. I swear it's async. Async function connect. Oh no. Don't tell me it was all about that. I don't believe it. Oh, that's painful. That's so painful. I didn't await the request. Oh, that's painful. That's physically painful. I don't. I don't fucking believe it. Full stop. Ah, well, at least when I eventually get to bed, I'll be able to sleep. I mean, that's a good thing. Oh, brutal. This is why you don't necessarily do this kind of problem after wrestling with Docker all day. Okay, it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's gonna be fine. Okay, what do they do when they get to processing the message? Tungstenite message text. So I think it would be good to have a copy of this and implement a simpler one. Certainly don't need a self parameter. We don't need tracing. Event pass WebSocket. Twitch API, event sub WebSocket data. Right, so we need actually import that for me, please. And same with this. We want event, that one. Thank you. And welcome payload. I think that's something they've provided. Welcome payload. Yep. Which has got session data. All right. I don't really care too much about all that. What is the S that we get? Just a string. I see. So we're matching the various types. Can I just output the string just so that I can see what it's going to be? And all the events you want to listen to. So we've got a couple. We've got the welcome packet, we've got a reconnect, and or otherwise we've got a notification. All right. This has got metadata and payload. And session is what? That's a perfectly reasonable question. That's come from elsewhere. Can I just print statements here? Oh, hang on. What's it matching? No, we can't just do that. We could do that though. What it's saying is session is not bound in all patterns. Where is session coming from? Oh, I see. It's being deserialized. Okay. I am going to have to call it there because it's almost 2200 and I need to get some sleep. So let's send whoever poor unfortunate souls still remain after watching me in the struggle versus the async code over to Beaks, who might take better care of you. Let's have a look here. Yeah, why not? Why not indeed? Thanks very much for hanging out. Catch us next time.